Hi there, everybody. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wintz here with you on this Monday evening. Thanks for joining me tonight versus last night. My wife and I, as some of you know, we did post about it. We usually don't post about personal stuff, but we got all fancied up, and I wanted to let you know why we didn't do a region weather live on Sunday. We were out of town this weekend. We don't get away very often with the kids, and we did. It was a really nice trip. We went down to flew down to New Orleans, and then we drove up to Biloxi. That's where one of my best friend's wedding was over the weekend. It was just fabulous. And then we went back to New Orleans yesterday and flew back in very, very late last night. So we're still sleep deprived, and we're back into parenting mode again today. So it's like, what a shock, right? You go from vacation to parenting 4 young ones during summer now, out of all things. But man, it's good to be back, though. It was nice to get away and spend some time with my wife. So I do appreciate you guys. I know you guys don't care, but I do appreciate you guys kind of flexing with your schedules and all that good stuff. So let's dive into the broadcast. Want to thank our sponsors first, and then we'll say hi to our early birds. We'll let a few more people join here. I've got so much stuff to cover, you guys. I mean, it took me forever to build this stuff. I'm on vacation this week, so this is my vacation time. But I'm telling you, I love it because there's so much to talk about right now. We'll talk about Northern Lights. We've got a lot of things coming up in terms of the forecast here as well. And my second screen just went haywire. So let's see if we can fix this up here. There we go. We're back. But anyway, it's just crazy stuff to talk about. A lot going on. All right. So let's dive into the broadcast here. I do want to thank our sponsors. They'll get me in the small corner. You don't need to see my mug. And I'll leave you with this. This is a just picture perfect satellite view today of the explosive thunderstorms out in the plains, and then you can see that atmospheric smoke really thick today. It's thick here this evening. You can see it. I don't know if any of you have seen the sunset, but the sun is just this red globe that you can just stare right at, which I usually don't recommend. Just incredible right now. Anyway, that's that. Let me thank our sponsors real quick, guys. If you need anything done around, we tried to get every sector of business that there is that doesn't compete. And again, we got the best of the best here, and they're all local to Northwest Indiana. So guys, if you need any of this done, a lot of you ask during times, especially severe weather, how you can support us. Please support our sponsors. That's it. Let them know Region Weather sent you. You don't have to do that, but we want to make sure that you support them because they support us. Earl's Heating and Air Conditioning. Guys, need anything with AC this week or next couple weeks, my goodness, go to Earl's. They've been serving Northwest Indiana since 1976. Lake and Porter counties, the most trusted heating company in Schererville. Go to earlsheating.com. They've got great specials right now, not just on tune-ups, but on new units in general. You can get them for pretty cheap, despite the fact they should be in high demand right now. So make sure you give them a call. PSA, that's our public service adjusters. If you have any insurance claims whatsoever on your property, something happens and you have to file insurance company or with your insurance company, don't go to your insurance company first. Go to publicserviceadjusting.com. Why? Because what they will do, they'll come out right away. They'll take pictures, document everything, and they will go to your insurance company for you, and they'll do all the back and forth. You don't have to wait on phone calls. You don't have to beg and plead and say that's not enough money that you're giving me. They are amazing negotiators. 5-star reviews across the board. Publicserviceadjusting.com. Romans Roofing, if you're in need of a new roof, boy, we've got some heavy rain on the way over the next week or so. And you want to make sure that water's going where it should. So if it's a new roof you need, maybe you need some patching done, or you need new shingles, or you need new siding or windows, they do that as well. They do it all, not just for residential, but commercial properties as well. Go to romansroofing.net or call 219-838-9111. Great Lakes Lighting, a wonderful company. A lot of you have already used them. They do lighting on your property, on your landscaping. They'll do expertly placed, just amazing professional lighting, but it enhances security as well. Make your home the envy of the neighborhood with expertly placed landscape lighting. They do it all. LightUpNWI.com or Great Lakes Lighting on Facebook. Minogue.life. Michael Minogue's been serving in Northwest Indiana in the world of Medicare, Medicaid, and life insurance. He's an expert around those things. I am not. And a lot of people sign up on via the phone or online, and they don't know what kind of plan they have, or they know what plan, but they don't know what they get out of it or what they can. He can help you figure out all that stuff. You may be on the wrong plan. You may be having benefits that you don't use that you could really use, or maybe you're paying too much money for something, whether it be life insurance or something else. He'd be happy to sit down with you. No cost consultation. Minogue.life is the place to go. Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. If you need a real estate agent, which we do nowadays, especially with how hot this buying market still is, make Kate your real estate agent. She's amazing. Her Facebook is Kate Cusack Home Loan Girl, or you can give her a call, 219-775-6645. She's got amazing experience in getting you set up for success, so that as soon as that home hits the market, whether it be dream home, maybe you want a home with a pool for the summer, she can make that happen, and she can get you placed and get that in the hands of the sellers and get you the home that you need right away over other buyers, which is just amazing work. She does it. Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. TigerPlumbing.net for all your plumbing needs. They've been serving Northwest Indiana for a long time. They've been our sponsor for over 3 years now. They're just great. If you need anything done plumbing-wise, please trust them. I know a lot of you have. FBIbuildings.com. They do renovation of pole barn structures, whether it be commercial or residential. They do amazing work as well. They've done over 20,000 of them in the Midwest. If you have a commercial property, something that someone else built that needs renovating, they'll do that too. FBIbuildings.com. Finally, T&T Tree Service. If you need any tree work done on your property, something fell, something's not looking right, something's looking a little sketch leaning towards your house, they'll fix it up for you. And they do great work, and they get into the tightest spots, and they do just great cleanup. They're professionals. They're amazing. Know the owner by name, as well I should. T&T Tree Service, serving Northwest Indiana with excellence. Call today or visit ttreeservice.com. Last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've got brand new Jeeps ready to go. Down in Biloxi, there was a Jeep convention. It was like every car that we saw was a Jeep, and they're all decked out with the ducks and all that stuff. But we probably saw like 400 Jeeps down there, and no one had doors on because it's warm down there, and it's warm up here as well. So if you're looking for a new Jeep, Grieger's can do that for you. And also in, I believe it's in August, I believe, I'm going to be coming to the region to MC an event, so I would love to meet y'all, those I haven't met yet. We'll talk about that as we get close to that, but I'll be doing that for Grieger's, which is exciting. So cool. All right, thanks for letting me get through those. We got a few more people that joined. Let's dive into the details now. Want to say hi to our early birds, Allison, first on board. Wow, Allison, you're fast. Hi, Allison. Thanks for joining us. Mary's with us as well. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining us. Darlene's on our YouTube channel. Lynn, hello to you. Angel, good evening to you. Carol's with us. Tom says, my eyes are burning from the Canadian smoke. Oh, we can't have nice things. That's just what drives me nuts. It's always something around here, isn't it? And it's not just us. It's like Eastern U.S. Kimberly, good evening to you. Pearl, absolutely. It's good to have you this evening. Teresa, thanks for joining us. Nick's happy about this evening over in Cedar Tucky. Pearl says, yes, loves the temps. Terry's with us. Daniel's with us. Hi, Daniel. Ruth, hello to you. You went to the Brookfield Zoo today. That's awesome. Cindy, yeah, we had a really, really good time. Pearl's like reality hits. Yes, it does. Debbie, happy to spend vacation with you. I appreciate you spending your time with me as well. Lori, we are going to stay warm. I'll show you that for you in the forecast. Reed Mo's with us tonight. We got everyone tonight. Dee, we got Vicky, Jacob, Kim's with us as well. Julie, the getaway was great. And yes, we are expecting another one. This is our last. I think we said that at 4. This is our last, trust me. But yeah, we've got another little one due in September, late September. And my wife's rolling right along. But we are not going to find out on this one. We didn't find out with our first, second, third. We found out with our fourth, basically so I could get rid of storage bins of the opposite sex. And we did that. And then it's interesting how it works. And again, I'm going to dive into details because I'm on vacation. If you guys need to leave, that's fine. I'm very cognizant of your time as well, but I just want to tell you this. We were at a point where we're like, we're done. 4 is good. And God's blessed us with 4 kids. We are blessed to be stewards of them and, and just guide them through to be good citizens and have a wonderful life. So there's that, but, so we're done with 4. But then it gets to this point where like your very youngest, which in our case is Silas, just it gets easier. It's such a struggle the first 6 months or whatever. But then after that, it's still a struggle, but it's easier and things get easier. And then you start to watch him play and interact with the older ones. And it's like, so we were sitting there and we're like, this is kind of enjoyable. Like, this is really nice. Like, it's really nice to see them all interact. And she starts sending me like Instagram things with people with 5 kids, like famous people, not famous people, and just how nice it is to have 5 kids. And I'm like, no, what are we doing? Like, no. And then I started looking at these things, and then, I'm like, well, it would be nice to have like 2 close in age towards the end because there's a little gap in between. So anyway, long story short, we're having another in September, and we're thrilled, and we're not going to find out girl or boy. We're going to be surprised, but that will be the last. So there's that. Okay. So there's that. Yeah, yeah. I posted it a long time ago, but we'll see. Yes, they are. Jay, I totally agree with that. We are lovers of the Lord as well, and again, they're not ours. We follow that philosophy. We're stewards and want to live them or grow them up to live and be Jesus loving kids and adults, and that's kind of where we are. And they are already following that path, and it makes me emotional to see. So totally agree with that. Deb has 5. That's awesome, Deb. And you're still doing great, right? Thanks, Brett. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to dive in. I've wasted enough of your time, so thank you for letting me get through story hour. Again, when I'm not at work during the week, I don't have anyone to talk to but my wife and the kids, so I do appreciate you being a vent. Okay, I've been showing this for a while. This is just such a beautiful image, what's going on. It's not beautiful what's going on, but it's beautiful to see. Look at this. This is summertime in true fashion. So in summertime, it's meteorological summer, so we can consider it that. Late spring, early summer, we get so much energy in the atmosphere, so thunderstorms can go much higher up in the sky, okay? In early spring, we can get cloud tops 30,000 feet or so, planes, jets flying, 35, 40,000 feet, so above that. But this time of year, we can get so much instability that goes so high in the atmosphere as our heights are much higher. So we can get cloud tops that go 50, 60,000 feet easily. And that's what we're seeing in the plains. Just look at this explosion of storms as we've got a frontal boundary here. You can see it. Another one out towards the west, dry line kicking into western areas of Texas and western Kansas. These are all just explosive storms. And all this cloud action goes 60,000 feet in the atmosphere, and then the jet stream takes it, those high clouds, and it shears it off, and that becomes the anvil that you see on thunderstorms. But it also becomes this huge high cloud deck that streams in here. And so all of these high clouds are really going to take over the Midwest here over the next couple hours. So we've talked about the Aurora Borealis, right? Northern Lights. I'm no expert on this stuff, all right? I did not study astronomy in school. I'm a meteorologist, but somehow meteorologists get pinned, and a lot of them enjoy it. They get pinned with astronomy stuff, okay? I'm not one of those that loves astronomy. I think it's fascinating, but I'm super into weather. I'm not really into astronomy. So, and I've been very transparent about that over time. So I'm no expert on the Northern Lights. However, last night, I'm told, was a bust because it just didn't happen in the northern U.S. It happened over in Europe, and it's really hard to predict. And if you watch kind of the way the Northern Lights if you watch like the forecast or the past 48 hours, it's real patchy where it like comes in and it dissipates and it pops up. So it's super hard to predict, and no one has it down yet. However, so I guess the show was in Europe yesterday. They got it. And then we had some of the potential for it, but it was during the daytime, which doesn't help. But I guess there's a good potential to see the Northern Lights again tonight. However, much like last night, and what I posted is, my job is to predict the sky, and I can tell you what's going to happen there. We've got high cirrus clouds coming in here. We'll have a cloud deck that comes in here in a couple hours, all right, that will obscure anything. And we've got all this atmospheric smoke. It's just so thick. And I showed you that view from our flight back flying over this stuff. If you're on the ground and you're looking at it on satellite, you're like, oh, okay, like there's quite a bit of smoke there. It is so thick in the atmosphere. Like there's no way that the spots where it's thickest are going to be able to see it. So our chances are pretty low for seeing this thing tonight. But you never know. We could certainly see it. Maybe not with the naked eye. You take your camera out there once we get a little darker. If you can pick up any colors, because there's a good chance for it tonight. So in terms of atmospheric smoke, I want to start with that. And some of this is getting down to ground level, like our air quality is starting to get messed with a little bit as well. And so here's what we're doing in the forecast. These are all from wildfires up in Canada. All right, there's a ton of them up in Canada once again. And what has happened is the airflow was kind of slow for about a week, and so all this smoke kind of bundled up along a front. And then it came down to the south. So we've got a south wind here coming out of Texas, but then we've got high pressure, which is it's been bringing in a northerly or northwest flow over the last couple of days. And so you get this flow that kind of goes like this, if you see my mouse cursor. So it brings all of this air, this smoke-filled air that's bottled up against this low up here. Remember, it kind of bottled up in Canada. It's bringing that down. So we've got a real big chunk of it now. Basically, anything in this colored shade is real thick, and then anything in this kind of bluish or purple shade is enough to cause the haze in the atmosphere, right? So you can see we've got a decent chunk of it now. This is, as we go through the day tomorrow, we've got a frontal boundary, that one that's exploding those thunderstorms west. That will likely bring more haze in here. And again, it could be down at ground level as well, some of that haze and smoke. It's not going to be great tomorrow, all right? Wednesday, more of the same. That front's not quite through yet. But then once that front gets through, it'll squash most of this down to the south. And a lot of this should start to continue to disperse without getting added to, all right? The new wildfire smoke flow off towards the north will be more westerly, so that'll take some of the smoke and just keep it in Canada where it belongs, right? Meanwhile, this will kind of dissipate. So I do expect improving conditions later on this week. We're talking Thursday, then especially Friday. And the weekend looks good at this point as the flow is going to remain off towards the north in terms of that smoke. But we'll still have some lingering pockets of smoke and haze. So we are going to have some sunshine returning this weekend after all this front stuff gets through. But in terms of the atmospheric smoke, I do expect blue sky this weekend, but there may be patches of like some white, all right? And those aren't clouds, that's smoke. So that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of atmospheric smoke. Here's your Aurora Borealis forecast. This is from the Space Weather Prediction Center. This is for tonight. Real good shot in the red. Notice how we're on the outer fringe of this, but again, we're contending with high clouds that'll be working in about 3 hours. And we've also got this atmospheric smoke around. Tomorrow not looking as great. And then this is the one you want to pay attention to. Again, you can see the website there. If you just go to spaceweatherpredictioncenter.com, they update every 30 minutes. And this is the one that's more accurate, that shows kind of where that flow is. And you can see this is where they are occurring right now. And we're kind of on the outer fringe of that, but the chances aren't real great. And then in terms of the forecast, you can see kind of how this goes around the globe. Well, this is not the U.S. Let me do the forecast here. So you can see what the forecast does. You know, I mean, it kind of flares up, doesn't? There's your chance right there. And then you can see it kind of goes around the globe. It's fascinating. It looks like a worm. You know, it's just crazy. But anyway, there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. That's kind of where we're going to go with it. All right, let's talk weather. We've got a lot going on. Potential tropical system developing. Happy tropical season, by the way. It began June 1st. Potential tropical system here off the coast of Florida. They're getting much needed rain there. And then all this red here, those are explosive cloud tops. They get real cold as they go high in the atmosphere. So this infrared detects the cold. That's what the red is. It looks super scary. It just means you've got really high cloud tops, aka some big storms. And you can see all this is kind of approaching us. So here's what we're dealing with now. We've got severe thunderstorm watches in advance of this. We've got numerous warnings with numerous lines here, even a tornado warning in areas of northern Colorado. But you can see, again, everything's kind of approaching us. So in terms of severe weather chances, all right, we've got rain and storms coming our way. Not tonight. Tomorrow, I don't think they get here yet, but they'll be here as we go into Wednesday. Here's where your severe weather is today. Not a huge outbreak, but pretty good coverage. Tomorrow, we get it in more of a linear fashion from the UP of Michigan all the way down towards Texas. Pretty decent risk as you get into western Illinois. Notice we're on the outer fringe of that as well. And then as we go into Wednesday, there's your chance. Notice how it's kind of out towards the east, but we'll see. And we'll see if they up this a little bit. This isn't a huge severe weather opportunity for us, but this is one of those where we'll have a front coming in, and we'll have showers and thunderstorms with that. And some of them could be strong to severe, all right? Tornado threat's not looking real high at this point. We're looking at more of a typical summertime damaging wind and hail out of anything. And again, it's not off the charts, but there is the chance. And that would be Tuesday night, but more so Wednesday once we get some daytime heating. So let's look at it. Here's the evolution. This is what's going on right now. Watch how this activity fades. This is tomorrow morning. There'll be a lot staring us on radar. Our wind will be out of the south, so we'll really start to warm up tomorrow. We talked about that earlier if you saw our 7-day forecast. And then this is tomorrow afternoon. Notice we get everything's kind of decaying in the morning. There's not a ton of heating, and then in the afternoon, the storms get going. I mean, this is a pretty decent line. Not all of it is severe, but you see these little pockets or clusters of some hailers and some potential damaging wind makers, all right? There's a pretty decent boundary that'll be pushing into western Illinois. So that's your severe chance tomorrow. And then we inherit tomorrow night anything left over on that line, but it would be falling apart as it moves in. Our dynamics won't be there quite yet tomorrow night. But then Wednesday, this front kind of settles over us. And it doesn't do a ton, but we're going to have this frontal boundary with just rain showers, and some of those rain showers will develop into thunderstorms, especially as we get into the afternoon. Again, I'm not overly impressed with our severe threat with this. It is there, especially in these areas that don't see the rain, and that's why that Storm Prediction Center threat is a little bit further off towards the east. So we keep our eye on like LaPorte, Stark County, and Jasper County as well in our region weather area, then out towards the east. That's where it'd be the better threat. This takes us up through early afternoon. By late afternoon, we would see some development here. Okay, so that's what we've got. Our next real shot at rain, and we could use all we could get. We really could. It moves on Wednesday. So let's take you through it. This is the Euro. Here's your Wednesday rain where the front kind of stalls. What we were looking at this morning was this front would stall. We get a break Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then the front looked to come back with some rain and storms on Thursday and Friday. That chance has gone down. So the 7-day I posted this morning, we do it from scratch, so it's all my forecast numbers, everything. I'm going to have to take down that rain chance on Thursday and Friday just a smidge. I'm going to keep it in there in case the models change, but you can see what happens. Front goes by Wednesday. Here's Thursday morning. It settles south, but the new modeling does not have it come quite as far north. You see how it's just hanging out. So we still have some rain and storm chances, but as of now, it looks like that boundary is going to settle down towards Indianapolis versus like Remington, all right, which is a big difference. And then you can see we're still dancing around some storms, mainly south on Thursday into Friday. And then the system finally gets a nudge south. That would clear us out for Saturday. By Sunday, though, we'd be bringing in a cold front late day, which would likely have more storms coming out of the northwest. And that would bring in some storms Sunday night into Monday. That front goes by. We clear out for a couple days. And then look at this pattern, perhaps, that sets up as we go into, this says like Friday the 13th. Ooh, it's Friday the 13th this month. There you go. Bad luck. And well, boy, we could have some storms around here as well with an area of low pressure that looks to bring some good rain to the Great Lakes. And the Euro has that low kind of sitting around. We'll see. Doesn't mean that's going to happen, but the chance for rain is certainly there. So speaking of rain, I do want to show you rainfall totals, at least on the modeling, because we've gone dry over the last, I guess, month now? We've gone fairly dry overall. There's not going to be a ton of rain this week. So this is through Saturday. Notice the heavier rainfall amounts are down towards the south where that front stalls. That could still shift north. If that front doesn't quite make it and it stalls over us, we could end up shifting some of these totals north. That's why I'm keeping rain in the forecast Thursday, Friday, just in case. But not a ton of rain through the end of the week. Half an inch to maybe an inch. Depends on how those thunderstorms go Wednesday. But either way, then next week, you see how we turn a lot rainier around here, especially around the Great Lakes. And so it all adds up. I mean, these are some pretty good totals, anywhere from, it's saying inch or so on us to 5 or 6 maybe in Wisconsin. We'll see. Let me show you the other models real quick, and then we'll dive into the temperatures. This is the GFS. It has a pretty rainy look across not just Indiana, but into Ohio. Pretty good bet here, too. Let's take it through the end of the week. So it has, it's got some pretty good rain on there. As it brings some of that rain back in here. Look at that strip through Illinois. That's great for farmers. A little too much, though. But you can see GFS has quite a bit as well. And then let's get to the Canadian model. I'll show you that one. We love the Canadian model since it provides all that smoke. You can see it's got kind of lesser amounts over us, and this goes through next Thursday. Okay, so that's rainfall for your gardens and all that good stuff. Here are your temperatures. Someone, I forgot who said, whoever said that earlier, I hope we stay warm. Here you go. We're staying warm. We made it. I'm so happy to report this. It's going to be pretty warm tomorrow. We're talking mid-80s. Now, the atmospheric smoke, that layer of clouds that we have, a lot of meteorologists, I don't know if a lot don't know this, but some don't forecast based on that. The models do not assume there's smoke over us. And so what we typically have to do is we lower, sometimes you lower rainfall totals because it's not as unstable. And also the other thing we'll do is we'll lower temperatures, or I will, 1 or 2 degrees typically. So tomorrow, a lot of the models were showing upper 80s. I think that smoke will still put a pretty decent layer, kind of a lid, kind of a filtered sunshine, so to speak. So I've got us mid-80s. I agree with the Euro here. It came down. And then you can see how we're comfortable the rest of the week. And then 70s and 80s from here on out. That's not bad. In terms of overnight lows, cool night there. That's waking up on Thursday as high pressure settles in. Overall, that's about it. We get some humidity again next week. So some real warm stuff coming in here. Isn't that nice? We could finally have summer again. How's everyone? How are your gardens doing? Everyone doing okay? It's this coolish spring that we've had. It's provided a lot of the spring flowering plants like rhododendrons, some of the azaleas too. It's allowing those to continue to bloom longer. So we've gotten good bloom times out of that. But it has slowed just slightly the growth of some of our summer perennials that come up. But overall, I think things are starting to look good. So there's that. All right, let's get your questions in there. If you guys have any questions, let's throw those in there. I would appreciate that. All right, Remo on our YouTube says, going to a White Sox game on Thursday. I'm liking the lesser chance for rain. Yeah, Remo, we're going to have to thread the needle on that. But I have a hunch if that front settles south, all the activity down there, what we may get would be some showers off of that. But we wouldn't have anything heavy. But we'll see. You know, if that front doesn't settle there, it settles a little further north, then we would have some rain. But for sure. Yeah, Mike, not a good idea to go camping on Friday the 13th if you've seen any of the movies. Let's not do that. Jacob, no problem. Mystic, can I have a summary on any bad storms? Yeah, so Jacob, I'm not looking at anything too bad. These storms would arrive on Wednesday. You can see here the evolution. Big storms tonight. Tomorrow, pretty big storms out towards the west. Those would kind of blow in here Tuesday night, but they would be decaying. So we probably have an outflow that went through. We might get a couple raindrops depending on how that line holds together. And then that front's right over us. That boundary's right over us, as you see there on Wednesday. So we would likely start with just some scattered showers. And then I would imagine as we get into the afternoon, we would pop a few additional showers and storms. Let's look at the NAM nest just for fun, see how this evolves things. There's your storms tomorrow. Everything kind of fades. Yeah, see, the NAM nest doesn't even bring any rain in here Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, there you go. I mean, that's not much moving through here. And it develops these storms here, which would be down to our south and the east. But let's keep an eye on it. Some of the storms could be strong on Wednesday, and then we should be good after that. That's kind of what we're looking at. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Lori, you're the one that asked about the warmth. That's right. There's your answer for you. There you go, Lori. Yes, we made it. That's awesome. All right. Wow. Ruth says, keep going. Lord bless you with 7. Ruth, that's amazing. You are amazing. We're good. If you could see, I would show you, but I'm embarrassed. If you could see the number of Legos on the floor in this room, Daddy's office is also the playroom. And I'm not, we have a security system in our house. We don't need it. I've got Legos all over the floor. So there's that. That's security enough. That's great. All right. Wendy is heading to East Texas Thursday through Chicago, coming back on Sunday. I got it. Travel look okay? You have 5 kids too? All girls. Oh my goodness. If your husband needs to talk sports or eat meat, let me know. That's amazing. That's amazing. So you're going to East Texas Thursday through Sunday. Let's look for you. We can do this. Let's go back to Euro because I don't trust anything else. And let's go to this. We've got East Texas on here, but I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. We're going to go Central Plains. Do I have that? U.S. region Central. Perfect. Okay, here we are. Chicago here. East Texas here. All right, and we're going to take you through time. And we're going to go back to the 12 because I like that run better. Okay, so you're going, you said Friday. All right, this is like a school test here. So you're going Thursday. Okay, so Thursday, let's see, front goes through. Here's Thursday. There's going to be just general storms down here and then big storms in western Texas. You should be fine. Just some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. It happens all the time down there. And then on Friday, you'd be fine in East Texas. You'd have storms to the north. Those will probably be severe. And then Saturday looks good. Everything's in Oklahoma. Boy, they've had a wet spring. We flew over the Mississippi River, and it's all muddy, and it's just swollen. They've got so much water, not just from the weekend, but from the spring in general. And then Saturday looks good, and then you come back Sunday, I think you said? Yes. So Sunday you're coming back. So on Sunday, gosh, still storms in Oklahoma. You'd fly over those if you're flying. So it could be bumpy getting out of East Texas through Arkansas. But overall looks okay. That frontal boundary would be sagging south Sunday night. So you'd be all right. And it'd probably be hot. I would imagine it's hot. So let's look at temperatures real quick for you. Let's go 24-hour max. Let's do that. And so we'll go Thursday. So Thursday we're looking at, I don't like that. Let's do this. So Thursday, 90s, 80s, 90s for you. There's humidity with that as well. Real hot on Friday, 90s near 100, depending on where you're going. Real hot Saturday, and then that front is just north, so you don't get much relief. Super hot on Sunday, so it's going to be a hot trip for you. Depending on how far south you're going, there's going to be triple-digit heat in Texas. Not unheard of. This is the time of year they get into that. But, ugh, yuck. Okay, let's see. Tori says, how does Sandusky look Thursday through Saturday heading to Cedar Point? Nice. Yeah, the phone forecast changes. The phone forecast will change based on the modeling. So the models change 4 times a day, and so your phone forecast will change 4 times a day as well. So you're going Thursday through Saturday. I hope you can ride the new Siren's Curse. That is just wicked looking. And the Top Thrill Dragster is ready to go. The Top Thrill Dragster too. All right, so we've got the front here coming through Sandusky on Thursday. Friday, unfortunately, we're going to have so Thursday. There's going to be some storms, probably earlier on, like midday, early afternoon, that you'd be watching. Those would push out. You'd have a nice Thursday evening as it looks right now. Friday, we would have more rain and rumbles around Sandusky. That front gets hung up south of the region, but not south of northern Ohio. It would probably be down towards the Akron area where the front would settle. So we'd have more rain and storms scattered. Okay, not a washout any of these days, but they would bubble up Friday afternoon. Saturday is by far your best day. Saturday looks great. You'll have slightly lower humidity as well. So there's that. Okay, Tori, have a nice trip. No, Elizabeth, I don't see any dirty rain. I know this, that's all we've got everything. However, there is Saharan dust coming across from Africa that will bring dust into the southern U.S. It looks to stay there, though, and I don't see any dust storms. And also, we're getting a ton of rain out in the plains, which is good. They got a lot of rain over Memorial Day weekend, areas of Oklahoma. Texas, western Texas got some rain. They're getting some more. So we're putting down some water on that dusty fields that we've had. Okay, Annette says, two-part question. How's the weather looking for Friday evening in Detroit, going to the Cubs game there? What are the chances of seeing Northern Lights tonight? So, Annette, we covered that top of the broadcast, which is fine. I understand you're just joining. In terms of Northern Lights, I'm not too impressed with it tonight. The chances there, I mean, there's a good ability to see it. However, we've got this. We've got a lot of thick wildfire smoke. I mean, this stuff is thicker than I think a lot of people were thinking. We've got that to look through, plus the storms off towards the north are putting up a ton of high clouds. Those high clouds will be here in a few hours. And so we've got a lot going against us. That's all. But next couple hours, perhaps try getting outside. Use your phone. That's the first thing that'll pick it up if the naked eye does not. You got to get away from city lights too. But I'll tell you, I'm not overly impressed with it, Annette. All right, your other question was about the Cubs game in Detroit on Friday. Let's get that to you. I would imagine we'll have some rain south of you. I'm trying to get to the right map. So here's Friday. Yeah, so the rain looks to be down towards your south, which is good. But, I mean, it's real close. And, again, this is that same front. So here's the front goes through. It'll rain Thursday in Detroit probably early. And then it should stay parked just down to the south. But it's going to be a really close call. But as of right now, I would lean dry with storms on radar real close. Okay? So there's that. Tori, you're welcome. Yes, absolutely. Wendy, I appreciate that as well. Jacob, of course, yeah, storms affect planes big time, yeah, because, in that thunderstorm cloud, you've got strong updrafts, so you've got real strong wind going up. I mean, sometimes that wind is cranking in the storms. Planes will typically not fly through thunderstorms, especially when they're 40, 50, 60,000 feet, when they go above, jet stream level. So you'll see pilots will go around storms. If you look at Flight Tracker, you can see, if you ever see a big complex of storms, you'll see all the planes kind of flying around it. And it's very fascinating. But yeah, they can absolutely affect planes. Planes do not want to fly through a mature thunderstorm because of the updrafts and the downdrafts. They're intense in there, and that can really throw the plane off for sure. Elijah's with us. Elijah says, we've got tons of wind. We need some hail. Sorry, but we do. That's funny because we keep, I'm not saying we're praying for it, but, we could use a new roof. We're waiting for hail too. That's okay, Elijah. Listen, so many people are thinking the same thing, and I am as well. I know we haven't had any good hailstorms for those that need new roofs. We need to do things honestly around here, but if there is a good hailstorm, it can cause some damage. We don't want that on our roof, do we? There's a chance for some hail with some of these. The chance that any one location, Elijah, gets hail is really not very high. It's really not. The chance that any one location has a severe thunderstorm isn't very high either. And the fact that storm needs to produce hail. So hail not as common as we think. If you do get large hail on your property, it's kind of a rare thing. It really is. Once every 3 years or so, any one location will get some good hail. So that's kind of where we're at. We do have a chance for some hail with some of these thunderstorms that move through Wednesday. We'll see. I'm not overly impressed with it again, but that chance is there for sure. Annette, you are welcome. Lynn, you are welcome as well. All right. I think that's about it. We've spent 40 minutes together, guys. I appreciate your time. All right. Again, I'm on vacation this week. Things are going to look a little weird post-wise. I'm not at the station to do the Matt's Morning Minute. We'll get back to those next week as we jump back into the grind. We're still doing radio in the mornings, though, so you can catch us on X-Rock 103.9, Indiana 105.5, Z107.1, and I'm still doing your regionweather.com posts in the morning as well. I've got a little routine, but post times will look a little different this week, but we'll still keep you updated, especially on those storms. And we have the ability to go live because I don't have an early bedtime this week, so there's that. Okay? All right. Hope you guys are enjoying your week so far. I know it just started. We've got some warm weather coming our way. And most importantly, I appreciate you guys spending time out of your Monday evening to join me. I know you've got a lot going on. You've got work, stuff like that. So I do appreciate your time. Okay, hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know. Please post. You can attach to this post if anyone's seeing the Northern Lights tonight. Again, I don't think it's really good odds for us locally with all the stuff we've got going on, but we'll see. We've seen stranger things. It's hard to predict as well, so there's that. Okay? All right. Thank you, Pearl. Appreciate that. Donna, thank you. You're welcome. And you guys have a wonderful night, okay? All right. Thank